Welcome to San Francisco on a beautiful Northern California Wednesday afternoon as the Pirates and Giants get set to play Game 3 of this three-game series at AT Park in the China Basin section of San Francisco. And hi again, everyone, with John Wayner. I'm Tim Neverett. Robbie Ince-Mikowski will join us in a bit. The Pirates have taken the first two games. We'll go for a sweep today, and it's been all about the starting pitching in both of these first two games.
What a difference a ballpark makes. The Pirates started this road trip in Denver, and they've struggled a bit in Coors Field, but no struggling here. Vance Worley was magnificent. 9 shutout innings, just 100 pitches. Liriano only came about a foot from matching zeros with Worley. A home run. It just got out by Morris. A great start from Liriano, his best of the year.
So Liriano and Worley got it done today. Charlie Morton will try to get it done. He did so back in early May against the Giants when he first met up with them at a day game at PNC Park.
His longest outing of the year, Charlie Morton went 8 innings, allowed just 1 run. It was unearned, had the good curveball going. The sinker is always a great weapon for Charlie Morton. He just handcuffed these Giants, kept them off balance, made it look easy, and maybe his best start of the year.
Charlie Morton will get the curveball going, also the sinker, and it'll be up to Charlie today to see if the Pirates can get their first road sweep of the season. When we come back to AT&T Park, it's all about Jay all day, every day. And he did it again last night. More on Josh Harrison coming up. Harrison back in the lineup today at third base. He has homered in 3 straight games. Josh Harrison getting it done. Let's take a look at our day automotive this day in Pirates history. July 30th, 2009, the Pirates acquire Super U Josh Harrison from the Cubs for John Grabo and Tom Gorzolani. And at the time, not a lot of folks raised an eyebrow about Josh Harrison, who was deep in the minor leagues, but he has certainly worked his way up to the majors at an all-star level. And lately, Rock, he's been good again.
Really good. Now he's hitting the long ball. He's been just sparking this offense with his legs, his bat, but now 3 straight games with homers. They weren't tape measure shots, but one to left, one to right center, and one here to right field. And Josh Harrison has been doing it ever since he got in the lineup, hitting .400 with runners in scoring position. You see his numbers on the road here, .331, 16 extra base hits to 19 RBIs, .903 OPS. He has been amazing.
Josh has scored 3 of the Pirates' 8 runs this series, and for each of those 8 runs, plus however many runs the Pirates scored today, you'll get to take $1 off the price of outfield box and lower outfield box seats for the Pirates' next home series against the Marlins. Tickets will be available for purchase 30 minutes after today's game at pirates.com/howmanyruns or at the PNC Park box office starting tomorrow. And with the no fees promotion going on through Friday, you'll save even more on those outfield box and lower outfield box seats for the Marlins series. Today, this series concludes. The Pirates going for a 3-game sweep. They'll have to take on right-hander Tim Lincecum as Tim takes on the Bucks. A peek at the Giants starter when we come back to AT Park.
Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Toyota. Now's the time to go places with Toyota. Visit buyatoyota.com for special offers. And by PNC Bank for the achiever in you. Let's go Bucks!
2-time Cy Young Award winner, 4-time All-Star, and the author of 2 no-hitters, Tim Lincecum, getting the start today for San Francisco in the 3rd and final game of this 3-game series. Pirates going for a 3-game sweep. They've hit Tim Lincecum before, but Rock, here are some numbers on Lincecum. Didn't have much success his last time out against the Dodgers.
No, the Dodgers made him get it up, and they drove the ball the opposite gap, hit a bunch of triples off him. He didn't pitch great against the Pirates May 7th either, but he has pitched well here at AT&T Ballpark. When he's on, he's still capable of throwing a no-hitter. He can be dominant. But the key is, I think, is to make him throw strikes.
Tim Lincecum against Charlie Morton. That's your pitching matchup. It is a beautiful day here in San Francisco. And the Bucks hoping they can break out the brooms for the first time on the road. Let's take you back now to our Root Sports studio in Pittsburgh. Dan Potash has this game break. Giants out of the dugout on the third base side. San Francisco has lost 6 straight. And they've lost their last 5 straight at home. Well, that boat could use a Jolly Roger on it. Take a look at the Pirates starting lineup, brought to you by Toyota. Leading off, Josh Harrison. Over the last 3 games, 7 for 12, 3 home runs, and 4 runs batted in. Gregory Polanco, Andrew McCutchen, Neil Walker bats 4th, Ike Davis 5th. Travis Snyder in the lineup again, playing left field, hitting 6th. Mercer, Stewart, and Morton round out the starting lineup as Jay Hay leading off again, and his average right at 299, so just about 300 for Jay Hay. He'll face Tim Lincecum. Lincecum making his 22nd start, 23rd appearance.
Herky-jerky, unorthodox throwing right-hander. Career record of 2-4, 4.86 ERA against the Pirates. Mixes a slider, curveball, and changeup. It goes along with his fastball that nowadays just averages about 90 miles per hour.
Defensively for the Giants, behind Tim Lincecum. Brought to you by Volvo. Michael Morse in left field. Gregor Blanco in center. Hunter Pence is in right. Sandoval, Crawford, Panic, and Posey around the infield with Susak doing the catching. Lincecum winds, and here's the first pitch of the ball game. It's in for a strike, and we're underway. 68 marvelous degrees here in San Francisco. Under sunny skies. Jay Hay grounds it to third. Sandoval on to first base, and there's one out. Let's take a look at today's Rivers Casino tips to win.
Well, let's be patient with Lincecum. He's 11th in the league with 47 walks. He can get a little bit wild. He wants you to hit the pitch down in the zone. Get that early lead again. Jump out early. They've done it the last 2 days and kind of coasted to victory. And for Charlie Morton, the curveball command, I think, will be important. It's a second weapon to go with that hard sinking fastball.
Gregory Polanco hitting 243, batting in the 2 spot, takes a strike. Polanco went 0 for 4 last night. Put the ball in play 4 times. Up in the air to shallow left center field. Crawford out, and this ball will drop in for a base hit. Well, how do you like that?
Love it.
Crawford kept drifting out. Center fielder Blanco and the left fielder Morse kept drifting over, but nobody could get to it. Falls in the Bermuda Triangle for the first hit of the game.
Left fielder, this ball off the bat figured it was a routine fly ball for Morrison. You could see him there. He was playing fairly deep and did not get a very good jump. Just kind of a couple of slow strides to start with. And wasn't exactly flying in there. Lincecum, I'm sure couldn't believe it.
Well, the no-hitter's gone now, Rock.
Yeah, no-hitter today for Lincecum.
Andrew McCutchen. Swing and a miss. Kutchen, his season worst 0 for 14 skids snapped last night with a double. 8th inning double. Polanco off first, 1 out. Now it's 0-2 to Kutch.
A couple late swings, and that's the thing with Andrew the last few days. He just hasn't been able to get that barrel out there as we've been so accustomed to seeing. But it's also a good sign to see the Pirates win 3 straight games on the road without a whole lot of help from your MVP center fielder.
Once it comes 0-2 pitch. Up high, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. July 25th against San Diego. Second no-hitter for Lincecum. 31st pitcher in baseball history to have multiple no-hitters. 1-2 to Kutch. There goes Polanco, and the pitch goes to the backstop. And Polanco falls into second base safely without a throw.
Yeah, that's why I think it always helps to take a peek in when you're stealing a base. You're always required to do it on a hit and run, but on a straight steal, it's not going to take much away to take a peek in. And you'll see Polanco keeps his head down, and watch this. He gets stuck in the wet dirt. That could be dangerous. You know, a guy that dislocated his shoulder doing that early in the ball game on the wet dirt.
Stolen base number 7 for Polanco. This one fouled back. Pirates now with a runner in scoring position. Polanco, good speed, can score on a base hit.
Mud all over his arms. Obviously the uniform.
Just underway here from San Francisco. 1 on and 1 out. 2-2 pitch to McCutchen. That'll wait as Lincecum wants to look Polanco back to the bag. Cut's getting ready to get hot again pretty soon. Count is full, 3-2. The season worst skid was an 0 for 11. Then he had 0 for 14. Those have been his 2 longest slumps. Well, that double last night looked like he was getting out of it. A solidly struck double to the left center field alley. Walker on deck. 3-2 pitch. And McCutchen down on strikes.
And when he's on time, and he typically won't swing at that pitch. When he's on time, he's getting that barrel out on the fastball. I mentioned the first 2 fastballs he was a little bit late on. I think when he got the 3-2, he anticipated another heater and got things started a little bit earlier. Didn't recognize the speed spin. He's way out in front.
Tougher to pick up the spin during day games or night games?
That shouldn't make a difference now, as you have no shadows or anything.
Walker a swing and a miss. Same pitch.
They, when it's totally dark, or like today, middle of the day, you should see the ball about the same. Some pitchers it's a little harder to pick up. Lincecum with that unorthodox delivery, sometimes hard to pick up.
Foul tip into the glove of Andrew Susac. And it's 0-2 to Neil Walker.
Lincecum does a pretty decent job of hiding that ball until he gets to the release point.
Nothing and 2 to Walker. Polanco off second. Lincecum stretch. 0-2. Gets away. Polanco's going to try it. Throw down. Not in time. Oh, it is in time. Well, Polanco snuck the hand in there, but third base umpire Brian Knight calls him out. Clint Hurdle's already out of the dugout.
I think he would have beaten the throw, but again, you're talking about this wet clay, and you don't slide, you stick. And he started his slide. He's reaching for that bag with his left arm, and it just kind of stopped. Kind of stuck on him. And having said that, boy, that may be worthy of a review.
Looked like he got his fingers in before Sandoval tagged him. Right there. Gregory Polanco might still be at third base if they decide to challenge this. And Clint Hurdle has elected not to challenge. It looked like Polanco was safe. No score. We go to the bottom of the first. San Francisco Bay, do you?
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of different things that go cruising across the bay.
Maybe they could bring in some drier clay for the infield. Hunter Pence will lead off. Honda starting lineup for the Giants. 307 against Pittsburgh with 11 home runs. 49 runs batted in. Today's his 89th game against the Buccos. Crawford, Posey, Sandoval, Morse, Panic, Blanco with Susac hitting 8th, and Lincecum, the pitcher, batting 9th. And Charlie Morton delivers strike 1 to Hunter Pence.
Morton, a disappointing record, just 5-10. A lot of that has to do with the lack of run support. Nifty 3.4 ERA.
Pence hits a little fly ball to Jordy Mercer, 1 out.
Morton won 6 pluses last time out against Colorado. Gave up 4. Opponents hitting just 234 against them.
Happy birthday, Clint. He is 57 today. Asked what he wanted for his birthday. He said another birthday. Brandon Crawford takes ball 1. Gregory Polanco out trying to advance to third base on the ball in the dirt.
With 2 outs, not worth the risk. It was a bang-bang play.
To right field, a base hit.
And again, the rule of thumb, typically, if you're on second base with 2 outs and you're going to try to advance to third, get there standing up. If you think there's going to be a play at third, put on the brakes, retreat. But again, I think if it was the 6th inning, the clay's a little drier, he takes off in that dirt instead of sticks.
1 on, 1 out for the Giants. Buster Posey had a 3-hit night last night, 3 for 4. Go to first base, and Crawford back. Crawford has stolen 3 bases. He's been caught 3 times. Second straight day, Posey's played first base. Here's the pitch, and Posey takes inside and low. And it's interesting how Posey is used. One day he'll catch, 2 days he'll play first. It's a little bit different. Bruce Bochy into preservation mode, I guess, when it comes to Posey.
Just making sure that he stays fresh. Keeping him in the lineup, that's for sure. That's the one great thing about Posey playing first base, is that bat is as dangerous as any here in San Francisco.
One and 1 to Posey, 1 down. Charlie set, now the pitch. Good block by Stewart, backhanded. Two balls and a strike.
They just showed Posey and Lincecum sitting next to each other with Posey playing with his phone. I know Posey's at the plate, but I just had a brain cramp and I was thinking, are you kidding me? He's on his phone in the dugout? 2 different.
Those are box seats.
I was over here shaking my head thinking, what's going on?
Are you suffering from sleep deprivation?
What's even dumber is that I share my thoughts.
Sometimes they're better to
just, yeah, share when we're off the air.
Another block by Stewart. Count goes to 3-1 on Posey.
My initial thought, and I'm glad I didn't share it, was Posey really got a cell phone on him in the dugout?
You can't do that. It's against the rules.
Well, it would have been a really dumb thing to say, especially that he's hitting.
Yeah, that'd be some talent. There goes Crawford, and a ground ball to the left side. That's stopped by Mercer. He'll have no play. And a base hit for Posey. 2 straight hits, and the Giants, the runners at first and second, and 1 out. Sandoval coming up.
Not a ball hit all that well, just perfectly placed, just past the diving Harrison. Jordy has no play. Mosley with 3 hits last night, 1 today. Hasn't really crushed the ball, but he's found holes.
Sandoval 0 for 4 in last night's game. Had 2 hits in the opener on Monday. Well, the Giants threatening. They have scored 6 runs over their last 6 games. They have not been putting runs on the board. They've only won 6 of the last 26 home games. It's a low strike. 0-1 to Sandoval. One ball, 1 strike. Giants were swept by the Dodgers to start this homestand. They're down 2-0 to the Pirates here. Here's something for you, Rock. Since the Giants moved to San Francisco in 1958, they have not been swept in a homestand that's been 6 or more games.
We hope to get the big out here with Sandoval up there. A couple runners aboard early.
It's her 104th birthday. And she's just made it to her first Giants game today. She shares a birthday with the Pirates manager. 2-1. 2-2.
If that's all she wanted for her 104th birthday.
That's a lot of years. That is, that's an achievement. She still hasn't seen the Cubs win a World Series. Here's the 2-2. Ooh, pretty good pitch. Stewart held it right there over the plate. This will be worth another look.
It starts off the plate, runs back. Ooh. Yeah, that's one of those that can go either way.
Field and Culbreth, the crew chief behind the plate, calling the balls and strikes. Stretch by Charlie, and the payoff will wait. Well, he had Crawford leaning. We just saw the woman who is a Giants fan, 104 years old. We want to wish a happy birthday to a big Bucco fan. Sophie Mandela turned 100 years old yesterday.
Ooh.
Happy birthday, Sophie.
That's awesome.
We'll be wishing you a happy birthday again next year at this time. Charlie's 3-2. Runners go, and that is ball 4. And the bases are full of Giants.
Working at the curveball. I thought maybe he can get Sandoval to chase. League hitting just 109 against that curveball. Whether or not he tried to bounce it or maybe just tried to get it in there for a strike, who knows. But Sandoval, the typically he's a free swinger. He's up there hacking, but draws the walk.
Well, this is the time Chuck needs a ground ball. Bases loaded, 1 out. And the Giants' leader in grounding into double plays, Michael Morse at the plate, and he hits a slow roller toward third. This is trouble. 1-0 San Francisco. Charlie got a ground ball, but too soft to do anything with. And Morse, a very fortunate RBI. His 49th.
What you saw it off the bat, you knew he was getting the RBI no matter what, because there wasn't going to be a play at home. Jay could have probably went down with both hands and kind of got it with the glove and used that off-balance throw. And Morse doesn't run all that well, but Jay tried to go with the bare hand. Caught him a bit in that right thumb. Two unfortunate infield dribblers go for knocks in this first inning.
Allegheny Health Network Supermo slowed that last play down for us. Here is Joe Panik, the second baseman. The rookie takes a strike. One out, base is full. And the Giants on the board first.
And what a difference that 2-2 pitch that Morton threw to Sandoval, that borderline pitch, what a difference it makes.
That's another one, but just a little bit too far inside, 1-1. Yeah, you get that. This is a whole different inning. Where is this? Same spot?
Yep, pretty much the exact same spot.
So Culbreth not giving Charlie the inside part of the plate. And again, Chris Stewart catches a close one, and it's called a ball.
This one looks like maybe it did catch that corner. Nope.
We see a lot worse called strikes.
Well, then again, the umpire, that's where they look. They look over the inside edge.
Charlie trying to go inside again, and he falls behind 3-1. Now he's got to make a pitch.
Yeah, when you get to 2-1, I don't think you can afford to be as fine and try to work the edges. You maybe go for a third of the plate instead of just the corner of the plate because you miss. Now, obviously, Panik in a good spot with these bases juiced. Posey, Sandoval, Morse. That hurts.
2-0. A bad start right now for Charlie Morton. Not where he wants to be.
You can't control the soft contact, the hard luck, weakly hit ground balls that go for hits, but you can control the strike zone. And the 2 walks in this inning, certainly costly.
Still 1 out. First man, Hunter Pence, popped up to Jordy Mercer softly, and that's been the only out Charlie's been able to record so far. Gregor Blanco, center fielder at the plate. He takes a strike.
And now you got a guy up there that's very difficult to double up.
.235 the average for Blanco. The pitch way out in front. 0-2. Blanco hit the 2 spot last night, went 1 for 3 with a double. 1 for 4, beg your pardon, with a double. Yeah, good curveball.
And I wonder if he was trying to do that, the 3-2 pitch to Sandoval, because it breaks so much. It's so nasty that even if it's in the strike zone, it's tough to hit.
That's into left field. Sandoval scores 3-0 San Francisco. Giants haven't hit anything hard, but they've got a 3-run lead.
And that ball not hit very hard at all, and that was the hanging curveball. And then again, you struggle with the strikes, and you walk 2 guys. Then you get ahead of a guy 0-2, and then you make a mistake like that, and you leave a curveball letter high and out over the plate. Again, not hit hard, but that's not where you want to throw that 0-2 pitch.
So Ray Searage with an early visit to Charlie Morton. Well, you've got a team down. You're stepping on their neck. The Giants have been struggling. And you don't want to let this one get too far out of hand this early, especially with Lincecum on the hill on the other side. Batter's Andrew Susak, the 8th hitter. 0 for 4 as a major leaguer. Today making his 2nd major league start behind the plate. ball, strike one. Susak called up on the 26th, made his major league debut, catching 2 innings against the Dodgers. Lincecum getting some run support, something the Giants haven't provided the last 5 starting pitchers. The last 5 starters are 0-5. As I mentioned earlier, the Giants have only scored, coming into the game today, 6 runs in the last 6 games. And this is what the Pirates did to Madison Bumgarner in game 1, scoring in a bunch early. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Susak. 27 pitches so far for Morton in the bottom of the first inning.
Wow, that's a good stop by Stewart. It's so far outside, he never even really got a chance to get in front of this one. And you're just hoping that it hops into your glove, and that's exactly what it did.
That was almost another run. Morse is the runner at third base. 2 ball, 2 strike pitch. Struck him out. 2 down. Susak strikes out, and the 9th man, the pitcher, Tim Lincecum, will come up.
He just went with that 2-seamer. Starts out middle of the plate, around the knees, runs in and below the knees. Susak swinging over it.
Lincecum takes a strike. Lincecum is 2 for 36. 3 for 36, beg your pardon. And he's behind 0-2. Charlie would like to finish him off here. Limit the damage. Tried the curveball and missed, and it's 1-2. Ball and 2 strikes to Tim Lincecum. Bases loaded, 2 down. And the 1-2 pitch. Missed inside. Charlie has been going inside time and time again to the left-handed hitters and not being able to connect with the corner. 2-2 pitch. A high chopper toward third. Harrison plays the short hop and throws him out. 3 runs come in. 4 hits. Giants take the early lead.
second for the Pirates. I'm Robbie and Smikowski. Ike Davis with the New York Mets last season had to deal with a ton of trade rumors. Tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern time is the trade deadline. And I asked Ike Davis what it's like dealing with the rumors that are constantly going around day in and day out.
Every rumor that came up every day that I was going to get traded, which I didn't end up getting traded, I had to talk about not getting traded or if it would have happened. So, like, that's the only annoying part about it is you know, you guys getting asked about the trade that didn't happen or the trade that hasn't happened yet. And you're like, well, until it happens, I really just don't want to talk about it.
And I think the comforting thing, Tim and John, here is Ike Davis could talk about it now after the fact, now that he's not a guy mentioned in trade rumors. This, of course, was Ike talking about his time with the New York Mets. And, you know, we see all the names floating around right now between now and tomorrow's trade deadline. One thing we do know, Justin Masterson has since changed addresses from Cleveland. He's headed to St. Louis.
Yes, he has. And Red Sox have made a trade, Robbie. They've sent Felix Doubront to the Cubs. Everybody's keeping an eye on what the Red Sox are doing today. Neil Walker was left at the altar when Polanco was thrown out trying to advance to third base in the first inning. Pirates have a little work to do. Down 3-0 starting the second inning. Ooh, good curveball, swing and a miss.
And slow, just 73 miles per hour. They left it up a bit, but that's hard to stay back on. Pitch coming in that slow.
All this trade stuff heating up. Non-waiver trading deadline, as Robbie mentioned, tomorrow 4 o'clock Eastern time. And everybody's in wait-and-see mode. 2-2, and Walker hits this one well to center field. Blanco going back, still going back. He looks up, it's off the wall. Walker into second base with a leadoff double.
Really close to getting one of those 3 runs back for Neal. All kept going out there, thought maybe it had a chance. It's again an off-speed pitch. That's what you want to do with Lincecum. Get him up in the zone. A mistake, 82 miles per hour, looked like a changeup. Walker hits it pretty good. 4 feet short.
Ike Davis, the batter.
And you don't have to get them all back at once. Manufacture one here. Get him over, get him in.
Double number 15 for Walker. A better situation than he was in when he was up anyway. Once Polanco was thrown out, he had 2 strikes on him, and Lincecum looked like he was in command of that at bat. 1 ball and 1 strike to Davis. But he gets a fresh count up there, and Walker doubles off the wall. .245 for Ike. This would be a good ballpark for Ike to hit in with that short porch and right. He can get a pitch to pull. 2-1.
Is there a shorter wall from home plate and right down the line here? 309.
Fenway Park, it's 302 down the right field line, and then you got to wrap it around the pole. It's 302 to the wall, and then it goes deep to where the foul pole sits, even with the wall, and then wraps around, goes all the way up to 380. You get in front of the bullpens there, but 314 at Yankee Stadium.
What's Fenway to left? 310, 320?
It's 310. It used to say 315 for years until the Air Force did some exercises and used it as a measuring tool and found out it was 310. So they told the Red Sox, and they Painted over the 5 and made a 0. 310.
They needed the Air Force to measure it.
Just happened to be doing it. Yeah. A number of years ago. 3-2 pitch. And Ike hammers this one down the right field side, and it is hooking foul. Might be in the bay. Yep, it is. Better hurry. That's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, I wouldn't jump in that water for a baseball.
I'd gladly watch everybody do it, but it's funny.
I can't imagine how cold that water is.
Splash.
The guy with the oars couldn't get him going. And he wasn't getting wet.
Well, you sit out there all day, you never know when a ball's going to be hit there. Might not ever happen all day long. That's the first one in this series that's gone out. Three-two. Ball 4, first and second for the Bucks, nobody out.
See if we can make that walk hurt. Lincecum, for the most part, staying away from Mike Davis. Gave him one pitch to pull, and he yanked it foul. Good patient at bat. Now Travis Snyder swinging it well. See if he can bring at least one home.
Get a ball wet this time. To the backstop. Susak didn't find it right away. Both runners move up on the wild pitch.
Now this is big. Now you got two runners in scoring position. They're going to concede these runs. The infield will stay back. And so what you want to try to do is just manufacture. At the very least, when you're down 3, shorten up, put the ball in play. The ground ball will bring Walker home. Ground ball on the right side will bring Walker home and Ike Davis to third. And you can do it again with Jordy Mercer.
Held up his swing, and it's outside 2-0.
That's the worst case scenario if you can hit the ball on the ground to the right side. Best case, you hit a ball, find a hole, keep the line moving, get all of them back.
Last 3 starts for Snyder. He's gone 5 for 10. And he hits it on the ground to the right side. Pirates on the board. Posey will take it himself. An RBI for Travis Snyder, and it's 3-1.
That's perfect. That's exactly what you want. You hit the ball hard on the ground to the right side. Now it goes right to a defender. That's okay. Mercer is going to get a similar opportunity here. You get a runner at third. Again, the infield will be back. Just shorten up, stay on top. You hit it on the ground past Lincecum. You're only down 1.
Jordy Mercer. Mercer's pretty due for a home run. His last one came on the 21st of June at Chicago. So he's about due for a long ball.
He wants to be thinking on top, though. Home run would be nice to be able to tie things up, but you're at the bottom of the order and you got that second run 90 feet away. Just think on top and up the middle.
1 ball, 1 strike pitch. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Well, you score as the Bucks score. Now $9 off the tickets for the Marlins series on lower outfield box seats. Half hour after today's game ends, you can go to Pirates.com/how-many-runs, or starting tomorrow at the Pirates box office. And we don't know what the final total is going to be yet, but it's already $9 off those tickets. Mercer strikes out, 2-3 goes the putout. That's the second strikeout for Lincecum. Speaking of tickets, all tickets purchased today through Friday, the Pirates will pay all service fees for you. This deal includes tickets purchased for any of the remaining Pirates home games for the rest of the season. Don't miss out on great promotions, key divisional matchups, Fan Jam post-game concerts, and more. For tickets, visit pirates.com/no fees. The fees aren't waived. The Pirates are paying the fees for you. So take advantage of that. Chris Stewart is swinging pretty good bat lately. He's trying to get Ike Davis in with 2 men out. Inside.
And this is a tough at bat to have. You want to stay patient. Don't want to go out of the zone, but you also want to drive that run home. If there is a strike thrown, no guarantee of that with Morton on deck. Even 2-0, we'll see if Lincecum will come in the zone. Or it does come in with a breaking ball.
Stewart reached base safely 4 times in 5 plate appearances when he made his last start Sunday in Denver against the Rockies. 2-1 to Stewart. Swing and a miss. Stewart's got experience with Lincecum. Caught 67 games with the Giants in 2011. Two and two. Ground ball foul. Today the ball dudes are not here. They're dudettes today. It's Kelly Olmo from Pleasanton, California, made the play down there. They have the dudes and the dudettes. And Kelly will be able to make another play. That is Jill Nolan from North Fork, California. The dudette on the first base side. And that's the dude they're trying to get in. Stewart, a ground ball to Sandoval. And he throws to Posey to retire Stewart. Pirates get one back on one hit, leave a man. Through an inning and a half, 3-1 San Francisco.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the Chevy Silverado and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Let's go Bucks!
3-1 Giants starting the second inning here at AT Park. Well, yeah, that's interesting. Good legs. They're talking about the wine, of course, from Napa Valley. Because wine has legs. And a little swinging bunt foul. Of course, the double entendre, the higher than high socks that Pence wears.
Not the prettiest player in the league. But my favorite guy to watch on the on-deck circle.
Yeah. The 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. I mean, he doesn't have them at the knees. He's got his pants over the knees. One and two.
He's all over the place. One of my favorite players, though. I tell you, he's a gamer. He goes out there. He knows how to hit. Plays it hard.
He looks unorthodox in just about everything he does. Swinging the bat, throwing the ball, but he gets the job done and done well. 3-2. And here's something Charlie needs to avoid too, especially after having a big first inning in terms of a pitch count, going deep into counts. Payoff pitch. Foul back.
And there's some free swingers on this Giants team, and I think you can get caught up in it. You know, throw pitches off the plate and expect them to chase. And it's not always going to be the case.
3-2, a chopper to short. Mercer double clutches. Rifles it to first to get Pence. 1 down. Well, folks, it's that time again. Show us your pictures. Show us how you root for the Bucks. Be our AT&T fan photo of the day. Show us the most unique ways you raise the Jolly Roger, the fun places you watch the games on Root Sports, or how you display your Pirate pride. Submit a picture via Twitter using the hashtag BucksFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown today during the telecast. Got a good one last night, Rock, from Carrick.
Yeah. Diane Warnock. I had a coach, Bob Warnock, and I'm curious. My guess is that it might be Bob's wife who sent in that picture.
Crawford hits this one in the air to left field. Snyder waiting for it. 2 out for the Giants.
When I saw the picture, I couldn't tell where the team was from, but when I saw the name, I thought that it has to be from Carrick. That's why I gave you guys the flash to see. And you guys showed me, because then I figured that it had to be the Warnocks that I know.
Buster Posey 1 for 1. He had a base hit and scored a run in the first inning. Ground ball towards short. Mercer there makes the sliding grab and throws him out. Nice play by Jordy Mercer, and a much better second inning than the first for Charlie Morton. 1-2-3 go the Giants. The lead, Dan Uggla setting this one out so far this afternoon. He did play last night, but made an important play before the game. He took a picture with our own Tyler Graham, who's our tape AD in the truck, and similarity. It's uncanny.
It's more than a similarity. They're twins.
Maybe they were separated at birth. That was Tyler on the left, just in case you were wondering. And that's the real Dan Uggla.
And they definitely look alike when their backs turn to the camera.
Charlie Morton takes a strike, 1-1. Now Tyler's very appreciative of you for making the introduction yesterday.
He could have done it himself. He was scared.
2-1. Let's come a little off balance on that last delivery. There's the 2-1. And Charlie takes a strike, count even.
I'm guessing he has to be tough to pick up. Elbows and knees. Ball goes behind his back and then comes up over his shoulder, just to the right of his head. But you don't see the ball until all that big long stride comes at you. It's not something that many pitching coaches are going to teach.
It has definitely worked for him.
I'd say.
Payoff pitch to Morton. Ball 4. And Lincecum walks Charlie, and the leadoff man is aboard in the third.
And as good as he is, you would think that he'd be able to throw a 3-2 pitch for a strike to the opposing pitcher.
And maybe that's what opens the door a crack more for the Pirates.
I mean, and not even close. In the dirt.
Pitching coach Dave Righetti probably thinking the exact same thing you were.
Two-time Cy Young Award winner, 4-time All-Star.
And a strike to Josh. Harrison grounded out to Crawford at shortstop in the first. 0 for 1 today. And Harrison hammers this one to left field. Back it goes. This ball is gone. A home run. That's 4 straight games with a homer for Josh Harrison. And he ties the game at 3.
Oh my gosh, Josh. It's incredible.
Jay Hay at night, day, doesn't matter. Josh Harrison, home run number 9. And it's a brand new ball game.
Well, again, it really is amazing. The only place he hasn't gone is center the last 4 days. Straight away left, straight away right, right center, left center. And all with just enough distance. And he's got some pop. Takes a look, hands on knees, just hoping it stays in the ballpark.
Polanco takes a strike, 1-1. I think he might have started something too with your oh my gosh, Josh.
I think he got that off the end a little bit. He has pop. He's hit some long ones in his career.
Well, Clint Hurdle described it earlier today. He said they call it game time pop. Doesn't have a lot of home runs in batting practice. Says Neil Walker's the same way, but during the game, that pop shows up. Strike 2 to Polanco. So no worry about the 3 runs Charlie gave up now in the first. 3-3. Here's the pitch to Gregory. He goes to left field. Morse will make the catch. And there is 1 out. Well, Josh Harrison adding 2 more runs. Now the tickets for the Marlins series coming up $11 off the lower outfield and outfield box seats. Wait till the end of the game and find out how many dollars off those tickets will be. In a half hour after the game today, they'll be available online at pirates.com/howmanyruns. Tomorrow you can start picking them up at the box office. Yeah, and let's see, 11 total right now. Harrison's driven in 4 of the 11. McCutchen hoping to get going here. Struck out in the first. Has just 1 hit in the series. 1 ball, 1 strike to McCutchen.
Brand new ball game. You gotta love it. It didn't take the Pirates long to get those 3 runs back.
Last Pirate to homer in 4 straight, Pedro Alvarez, last year, June 20th through the 23rd. Two-1. 3-1 now to McCutchen.
I think I remember who the longest before that was. Jose Castillo had a nice little run.
About 5 in a row,
I believe.
McCutchen slowly hit ground ball to Sandoval. And the throw to Posey, a little bit high, but close enough to retire McCutchen, and there are 2 men out. And McCutchen's 0 for 2. Jason Bay had a run where he hit in 6 straight games, didn't he? The record is 8.
Dale Long.
Ken Griffey Jr., Don Mattingly, Dale Long. All of 8 straight games with a homer. Pitch to Walker. In for a strike. Oh, 1 coming to Neal. Here it is. And this one cued foul down the third base line. That's a funny spin on it off the bat.
As a lefty, when you take that swing and you hit that cue shot, you hope it stays fair because they're not going to throw you out. As a righty, praying that it goes foul because it usually rolls right to the first base bag.
Lincecum's 0-2 inside. 1-2. One-two pitch. Ground ball to second. And Panic throws out Walker. Pirates get him back. Leadoff walk to Morton, and then Josh Harrison stepped to the plate. And for the 4th straight game, he hit one out of the yard. Home run number 9 for Jay Hay, and it's a 3-3 game. Josh Harrison. Another home run for him. And here's what people actually are saying on Twitter about Josh Harrison. Look at the scroll on the bottom of the screen. And there's a hit for Sandoval. Switch hitting third baseman. Drives one to left field for a leadoff single.
I like to see what Morton did that last inning, the second inning, being more aggressive in the strike zone. I think, again, he didn't get hit hard in that first inning, but a couple of walks certainly contributed to the 3-run first. And let that sinker work for you.
Harrison has tied this game. Now at the plate, Michael Morse. Pirates got Charlie a run on the second. He came back, pitched a 1-2-3 second inning. But Sandoval, after the Bucks got two, leads off with a base hit. Morse had an infield single and an RBI. First time up. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Morse a big, long swing, trying to get out front, trying to pull it, and that usually works in Charlie Morton's favor. Try to pull that sinker, you're going to hit ground balls more times than not.
Two and one. Morse hit a home run in last night's game. Hit it into the first row. That was the only run the Giants would get. It was his first home run since the 15th of May. A little flare to the right side. Walker chasing after it. He won't get it. That's a base hit for Morse. And the Giants have set up shop, first and second, and nobody out.
You get two weaker base hits than Morse has. Maybe the biggest hitter in this stadium. He hit one that went 65 feet in the first, and he hits a fly ball that doesn't leave the infield here in the third. And sometimes better be lucky than good.
So far today, in spite of the fact that the Giants have 6 hits, not a single one of them has been a hard hit ball. A lot of soft contact. Panic walked first time up. If you believe what you hear about the trade rumors, the Giants, at least locally in the media, they're saying a couple of needs. One of them is second base. Right now, Panic filling that role, a AAA call-up. Ryan Sabian, the general manager, certainly trying to fill up whatever holes he feels are on his club. Into center field and deep. Going back is McCutcheon. He's on the track, makes the catch. Sandoval will tag. Throw comes to second base to keep the double play in order. There's one out.
Stayed at first, one halfway, so the double play still in order, though Blanco, the center fielder, not an easy guy to double up.
Well, another area of concern for the Giants has been center field, the position Blanco plays. Angel Pagan still hurt. And this lineup misses a guy like Pagan, who is a really good table setter for them.
Yeah, I think you take a dangerous bat out of the middle. I mean, Pence has been leading off, but when you got Pagan up there, I feel a little more comfortable with Pence with runners on base than being a stable table setter.
Giants have the go-ahead run at third base. Bottom of the third inning. Charlie's pitch to Gregor Blanco. Tried to bunt.
It's not a bad idea, but you got to make sure the runner on third's on the same page with you. As that ball was fouled off, Sandoval did not break towards home. He laid down a bunt, whether the third baseman or the first baseman. He was trying to bunt at the first base side. Ike Davis comes in and fields that, and you got the runner at third standing there. Well, didn't serve much of a purpose. But that was Blanco was thinking about getting a bunt on to bring Sandoval home.
Breaking ball, strike 2.
No, he had him looking bad on a breaking ball back in the first inning to go ahead 0-2, and then he threw an 0-2 breaking ball up and out over the plate that he hit softly in the left.
Is he trying to come back inside here, see if he can get one to run over that corner?
You can try to do it. You want to make sure you don't hit him when you're up 0-2 and he's on the plate. I'd go and try to bury that breaking ball again. He doesn't look very good against it. And then he bounces it off his shin.
A hit by pitch. Sandoval's got to go back to third base. So he hits Blanco and loads the bases.
And again, you get him 0-2 and he's at your mercy, and then you make 2 bad pitches. He comes up, hits him in that left knee. And that's a very selfish player there. That's not a team player. He has to go down and react, say ouch, and grab that knee. If he doesn't do that, the run scores. Kidding, of course, but
Andrew Susak struck out first time up, 0 for 1. Bases full for the second time in the game. Really the third time, but the second inning they've had the bases loaded. A lot of traffic out there behind Charlie Morton in a 3-3 ball game. Most hit batsman in the National League. Charlie twice as many as Burnett, Leake, and Simon. Blanco down at first base, Morse at second, Sandoval at third, the 1-0. Rope to left field. First major league hit for Susak, and it gives the Giants the lead. Four-3 San Francisco.
When Charlie throws that sinker and he leaves it up, it doesn't sink. Not as much anyhow. He got him to swing over a real good sinker back in that first inning. In the same situation, bases loaded, 1 out. Well, this sinker stays up, flattens out.
Strike 1 to Lincecum. Andrew Susak finally knows what it's like to have a big league hit. That ball will be saved for him. 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lincecum would rather strike out here than hit into a double play. But he may hit into one anyway. Jay to Walker, and there's 2.
1-run game.
Giants take the lead on an RBI single by Susak, scoring Sandoval. Tommy John surgery has changed over the years. Find out who the Pirates think may be a future All-Star on the team in this week's Pop Quiz, and much more. Inside Pirates Baseball, presented by Allegheny Health Network. Tonight, after post-game on Root Sports. Be sure to tune in for it. Oh, that's the well-known Lombard Street. Better have your feet on the brakes if you're driving down that switchback hill.
There's got to be another way to get down that hill.
Yeah, the stairs on the left. That's the only other way.
How close is that to our hotel? You ever been there?
No.
Me neither.
Susak drives in the go-ahead run. His first big league hit. We start the fourth inning. And Ike Davis will lead off against Tim Lincecum. Our pitch count's a little interesting at this point in time. Lincecum has thrown 64 pitches already, and Charlie has thrown 59. Lincecum heading into the inning-ending double play with the bases loaded. The exact thing he did not want to do, he did. Pirates are thank him for it later, maybe. First pitch to Davis, in for a strike. Ike walked in the second inning. .245 the average. Lincecum's pitch, and Davis pops it foul out of play. 0-2. The Mets beat the Phillies earlier today, Ike's former team. 11-2, the Mets were winners. Jeff Locke goes tomorrow against the Diamondbacks' Josh Colmenter in game 1 of 4 against the Diamondbacks in Phoenix. Davis rips it right at the second baseman, Panic, who calmly throws it to first. Here's today's Barrel Automotive League leaders stat, the active career leaders in strikeouts per 9 innings. K-Rod, the Brewers closer, on top of the list. Joe Nathan, Max Scherzer. And there's Tim Lincecum along with Clayton Kershaw rounding out the top 5. Pitch to Travis Snyder. Strike 1. Snyder had a run-scoring ground out in the second inning. One ball, one strike. Snyder with a base hit. One out single.
Stay hot, Travis. And 2 good at bats. Continues to swing the bat well. A lot of confidence. Something off speed. Not sure if that was a changeup or not, but the hands are back. The foot's down early. Stays through it. That lower half has been a huge difference for Travis Snyder. You go the first 3 months of the season, basically, he was not able to get those hips through consistently. He was kind of getting stuck on that back leg.
Pitch up high and in to Jordy Mercer. Well, Clint Hurdle yesterday with a lineup decision, keeping Snyder and Harrison in the lineup rather than having Pedro Alvarez bat against a right-handed pitcher last night and again today. And his reasoning, he said he wanted the hot bats in the lineup. Oh, this one goes into the seats. Wild pitch, and Snyder gets second. He asks for third, but he's not going to get it.
He gets his share of those. Does Tim Lincecum as well. It's his second one today, 11th of the year. Not many wild pitches go 10 rows deep. Bruce Bochy's going to get his bullpen going.
Jordy Mercer drives one to left field. Back goes Moore. Still going back. He leaps. It's gone. A home run for Jordy Mercer. The Pirates are back in front, 5-4, on a 2-run shot by Jordy.
You were calling for it earlier, Tim. You said he's due. Good call on your part. We're back to what, June? Middle of June since Jordy's
21st.
Last home run, and the Pirates now with what, 5 home runs in this series? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I don't know if any of them have reached the second row, but you'll take them. They all count. Jordy gets a fastball in. Right on the inside corner, and Lincecum cannot believe it. Morse is a big man, but
Look at the beer. Look at the beer. Look at the beer.
That's an expensive beverage.
That's a $7 or $8 home run right there.
Yeah, but that thing was full. Maybe she got the ball at least.
She's got some wet clothes, that's for sure. I bet you if you asked Jordan to go hit it in a beer cup again, he couldn't do it.
That last pitch up and into Stewart, he says it hit him in the forearm, the left forearm. Is this young lady looks like she's getting a towel. Now Clint Hurdle's going to come out, discuss things with the crew chief.
Did it hit him or didn't it? That's what Clint wants to know. That is something that you can look at.
Yeah, but one of those, if you can't hear it, umpire's not going to call it. I don't think that's something that you see that from time to time where you really can't see the contact, but you can kind of hear a little something before the catcher catches it.
1 ball, no strikes to Stewart. And he fouls it back, and it's 1-1. Jordy Mercer with his 7th home run of the season. RBI is 34 and 35 for Mercer. Gives the Pirates the lead. First time they've had a lead in the ball game.
I actually had a bat like that here in San Francisco, Candlestick Park. The ball nicked me as I was up there, and I didn't say anything because I thought I'd get a hit. Went ahead and struck out. Umpire said to me as I was taking my stuff off, "Did that ball hit you?" I said, "Yeah." So why didn't you say anything? Dumb enough to think I could get a hit.
You were just a lot more confident then. The 3-1 pitch. And Stewart walks. And on first. Jordy Mercer's home run adds 2 more runs off the tickets. Our U Score as the Buck Score promotion for lower outfield and outfield box seats. $13 off now for the Marlins series. Bruce Bochy coming out to get Tim Lincecum. So Lincecum's day comes to a conclusion. Juan Gutierrez will be coming in. Pirates up a run. The Health Network injury update. The Giants' Matt Cain was put on the disabled list earlier this month due to ongoing issues with his elbow, and now he is reportedly set to visit with Dr. James Andrews for his assessment. Cain was just 2-7 with a .418 earned run average before being placed on the disabled list. So anytime you have to see Dr. Andrews, you hope you get the best news possible, but oftentimes it'll result in Tommy John surgery. Russ on bubbles.
Big league bubble. I was even impressed with that one. Got it out of there before it popped, which was important. I think that would make a mess in that beard.
So Juan Gutierrez pitched 2 1/3 innings on Monday. Hitless and scoreless relief. He struck out 2.
Pretty good arm. Gets it up there 93, 94, 95 miles per hour.
Stewart the runner on, 1 out. Morton will try to get him over. Charlie bunts it foul. He's got Sandoval creeping in on top of him. So 2 more shots at the apple for Charlie to try to get Stewart to second base. Watch Sandoval just keeps on coming in. He wasn't in as close that time. 1 ball and 1 strike. Charlie has in the past pulled the bat back. He's done it a couple times when he recognizes a wheel play, but that's not the case here. Gutierrez 1-1. Charlie takes a strike. Morton walked and rode home for free on Josh Harrison's home run in the 3rd inning.
Have some fun.
And now the 1-2 on the way. And Charlie strikes out. And 2 outs. Go back to the top of the order now.
Jabbing at the ball a little bit. Morton has done a pretty good job with the sacrifice.
Well, Jay Hay with his 4th home run in as many days.
So much fun. Amazing stuff.
Now have yourself a day, Jay Hay. Come get another one. Stewart on. 2 out. And a strike. Well, the Giants already into the bullpen today. We're in the bottom, or rather the top of the 4th inning. Harrison pops this one up. Pence has a play on it. He makes the catch, and the Pirates are done in the 4th. 2-run homer by Jordy Mercer. Jordy knocks his 7th one out of the yard this year, and the Pirates, for the first time today, have a lead. 4 runs on 7 hits for the Giants. Jordy Mercer, the latest Pirate to hit a home run here at AT&T Park. Bottom of the 4th inning. Morton pitching to the top of the order. Hunter Pence, first ball swinging, puts it into left field. Pence with his first hit. Pence just went up there hunting for something he could hit. First pitch and got it on the ground into left. Pence's second hit of the series. His first one was Monday night in the 9th inning with 2 outs, and Vance Worley surrendered a triple to him. And then the next hitter, Joe Panik, came in and grounded out to end the ball game. Vance got a complete game. Brandon Crawford now facing Charlie. Pence with 9 stolen bases. He has been caught running 4 times. Stretch and the pitch coming. Nope, throw to first instead.
A little bit of a lean going the other way, did Hunter Pence. Well, those are some long socks. They look like they go up to the thigh.
I don't know if it's so much the long socks as they are short pants.
Oh, those socks he just like pulled up and they were going to the thigh. Pantyhose.
He's got the pants over the knees. There goes Pence, a pitch out. Stewart's throw is high, and Pence is safe. They anticipated, had the pitch out call, and Stewart's throw didn't make it.
Yeah, he kind of showed his intentions with that first throw over from Morton. That little lean to his right. So a good call by Jeff Bannister, the Pirates bench coach, going with the pitch out. Hard to tell if a good throw would have got him, but Stewart got out there and just airmailed it.
Nobody out in the tying run in scoring position, and Crawford fouls it back. So Charlie's going to have to do some pitching now to keep the Giants off the board this inning. Jordy trying to keep that ball from going into center field. Walker was there to back him up, but just trying to catch it. Crawford out of UCLA, teammate with Garrett Cole. In fact, Garrett Cole dates Crawford's sister. Well, speaking of UCLA, have you seen the pictures coming out of Westwood on the UCLA campus? They've had a big water main break there, and part of the campus flooded. Good breaking pitch for a strike.
A basketball court underwater.
Yeah, it's a brand new floor, they say. Probably ruined. Pauley Pavilion. Here comes the 2-2 from Charlie. He's got the sign. Looking back at Pence. Two to Crawford. Trying the breaking ball again. Now the count is full. Pirates getting Charlie some runs today. Normally he suffers from a lack of run support, but Bucks have put 5 up so far. Charlie trying to keep it there. Giants putting some pressure on him now in the 4th. This one a foul ball.
That's what Crawford wants to try to do, and hit a ball the right side to at least move Pence up to third.
Well, he's got a matching bottle. Matches his outfit.
And Pirate fan naturally catches the ball and saves the beer.
That didn't happen when Mercer hit the home run. 3-2. In fact, there wasn't even a Giant fan. Looked like a Dodger fan out there. Two on.
Another walk for Charlie Morton. That's 4 free passes, 3 walks and a hit batter. And go along with a bunch of hits. So Clint Hurdle get Genmar Gomez going. 67 pitches for Morton, 29 balls. Vance Worley the other night, Monday, complete game, shutout, threw 29 balls the entire game.
Vance threw 100 pitches, 71 of the 100 strikes. That's 71%.
29% balls.
Yeah, I figured that out.
You didn't need the Pythagorean theorem
Nope.
for that one.
Nope. Or calculator even. Or an abacus or my fingers and toes. I just figured it out.
Veranimal.
But he can't wait to take the mound again. Performance like that, you probably feel like you want to get right back out there.
Just faith in your stuff to throw strikes and miss barrels.
Pitch down low and away to Posey. Liriano looks like the Liriano of old with his performance last night. 7 innings, a season high 11 strikeouts. Scattered 4 hits. And that's ball 2 to Posey. Hey, Charlie falling behind the number 3 hitter for the Giants. Posey 1 for 2 today, a single and a run scored. Tying run is at second, go-ahead runs at first, and nobody out for the Giants in the 4th inning.
Reiterate that Charlie Morton has not been hit hard in this game, despite giving up 8 hits. Maybe a couple hit firm. And he had pretty decent command of his fastball in the 1st inning. He just missed with some pitches in. Now, just doesn't know where it's going.
Three and 0. And a strike. Last game of the Dodgers series, Posey hit a home run, 3-0. The Giants hadn't had a hitter since 2007 hit a home run on a 3-0 count. That ended the longest drought by any team in baseball, having a hitter knock one out on a 3-0 pitch. Right at J-Hay. He'll go to second, just a little too late. That's a big out. That's out number 1.
Again, you have to throw a strike in that situation. You're behind in the count 3-1. And I mentioned not many hard hit balls. This was probably the hardest hit ball of the afternoon off of Charlie Morton. The importance of throwing strikes, getting ahead of counts. Posey not happy with the result, but things even out. You mentioned he had 4 hits, 3 last night, 1 in the 1st inning of this game, and neither of them were hit that hard. One of the 4.
First and second, 1 out. The Panda at the plate, Pablo Sandoval. Fouls this one off to the left into the second deck. See, more and more people bringing their gloves to games. How many shots we have people catching foul balls with gloves now?
Saw some nice catches, youngsters in Colorado. Making catches with their gloves.
Bouncer pass first for strike 2. Couple pitches back. Yep. Stump reached his neighbor because he had the glove. That's why he made the catch. The other guy didn't. Well, they catch him in gloves. They catch him in beer cups. One or the other. 0-2. Breaking ball fouled off in front of the Pirate dugout.
That's a good waste of a pitch from Sandoval. That's good curveball from Charlie Morton. Hasn't had many swings and misses. Just one strikeout. That was on a sinker.
Runners lead from first and second. Charlie checks him. 0-2. 1-2. "76 pitches now for Morton. Certainly Ray would love to see him get through 5 the way things have gone today. If he can get through 5 and leave with the lead, that would be ideal for him under the circumstances. One, two.
And going back to that curveball once again, and a good waste of it one more time by Sandoval. That little backdoor curveball. Right on the outside corner, a little bit up.
Popped him up. See if Stewart will get a play on it. And looks like he will. Had to avoid the heavy bat in the on-deck circle. But Stewart retires Sandoval, and there are 2 down for the Giants in the 4th.
Yeah, good thing Stewart was able to stay with it. Josh Harrison lost it. He was coming in from third and turned away because it was up in the sun. A lot of backspin on this ball, so Stewart found out where he was, realized he had to backpedal a little bit, made it look easy.
Remember the days when they actually used to take infield, and the coach would ever hit infield, last thing he'd do is be hit that pop-up for the catcher. Some guys were really good at it. Some guys could almost hit it straight up.
Yeah, most of the time, the coaches that were doing it, it's like a circus. That infielder's chasing it, the outfielder's chasing it. Ball's landing in the stands behind home plate.
Morris flares one to right field. Here comes Polanco. He makes the running catch. And the Giants will strand 2. On to the 5th. 5-4 Buccos.
When you look down right there to the bottom left, you see a garden right there. That is one of the veggie gardens that are popping up around big league ballparks, and it sits under the center field scoreboard, and it is a huge one. It's 4,320 square feet that houses fresh-picked fruits and vegetables, and also dining tables, benches, a bar, and fire pits that the fans can use. You know, the games get very cold here all months of the season. At AT Park, you can buy salads and mason jars and take them with you to your seat if you like. And the veggies grown here are also used in smoothies and salads that the players eat in the clubhouse. And it's also used more, John and Tim, by than just players and fans. It doubles as an outdoor classroom for kids in the Bay Area where they learn about sustainability and healthy eating. Coors Field has one as well, Petco Park in San Diego. So you never know. Might have a garden sometime pop up on the North Shore at PNC Park.
I don't know. I thought I saw some kale out there.
You did. They do use kale, and that's a main ingredient that goes into the smoothies that the players drink in the clubhouse. So they grow them all here, and they both use it for salads that fans can buy, and the players use it.
That's good stuff. Got to have your greens. Gregory Polanco leads off. 0-1 pitch popped up. Crawford in back of Sandoval.
That kind of defeats the purpose of a smoothie if you're going to put kale in.
How's that?
Smoothies are supposed to taste good.
They do taste good.
Not with kale, they don't.
Sure they do.
Right.
Well, you can own a piece of the game with the Pirates' authentic merchandise collection. Add Andrew McCutcheon's game-used bat or Neil Walker's game-used jersey to your personal collection, along with game-used lineup cards, helmets, bases, and more from your favorite Pirates players. To get your authentic Pirates merchandise, visit the Hunt auction booth next time you're at a Pirates game. And have some kale in your smoothie. It does taste good. You can't even taste it.
I don't know. How does it taste good if you can't taste it? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, the smoothie tastes good. The kale's good for you.
Put some ice cream and chocolate syrup in it. Then it'll taste good.
McCutcheon hits one in the air to right field. Hunter Pence will play it. 2 men out. McCutcheon's 0 for 3. Did you put ice cream in Slim Fast?
I've never had Slim Fast.
Ice cream, chocolate sauce, and kale. You do that?
No. I have no interest in kale. In a salad, in a drink, none. Could use it as decoration on a dinner plate. That's about it.
With your green eggs and ham. Neil Walker with a double in the second inning, 1 for 2 today.
My favorite book, by the way.
Green eggs and ham.
Yeah.
Not a good doctor. Gutierrez ready to deliver the 1-0 to Walker. He swings and misses. Watermelon and beer. We are in California. Would you do that?
I'd eat the watermelon. See, that's what you got to do. Take it out and eat it. And then drink your beer.
Walker's popped up. Sandoval fighting the sun. Makes the catch. Pirates gone in order in the 5th. 5-4 Bucks. The bottom of the 5th inning, and that Women's Beer Cup came into play earlier when Jordy Mercer hit his 7th home run of the season. Went right into her beer cup, but she got a new one, and then the ball was thrown up in the stands, and she went into protection mode. Trying to protect that investment.
She needs to find a beer garden. It's safe.
Charlie pitching to Joe Panic. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now, another ball ended up going up there. She's like, nope.
She's protecting it.
Panic walked in a run. Walked with the bases loaded in the 1st inning, then was hit by a pitch in the 3rd. I beg your pardon, he flied to center in the 3rd. Blanco hitting behind him was the one hit by the pitch. 3 balls and a strike to Joe Panic. To right field. Polanco makes the catch. There's 1 out.
All the hard hit balls are outs against Charlie Morton so far this afternoon.
He's down to the bottom part of the order. Number 7 hitter. Gregor Blanco did have a base hit. Brought in a run in the 1st inning. And he was the guy hit by a pitch in the 3rd. The 18th batter Charlie Morton has hit this year. More than twice as many as anybody else. Blanco, an opposite field single. And there's a man aboard.
Shortly, giving Blanco troubles with the curveball, falling or getting ahead of Blanco twice with 0-2 counts, and decides to go with a 1st pitch fastball. Finds a hole. An 0-2 base hit to left in the 1st, and 0-2 in the 3rd. Got hit in the knee.
Jared Hughes starting to loosen up. As soon as that ball was put in the outfield, Jared ran down there. So action in the Pirates bullpen. Javier Lopez warming up for the Giants. Blanco represents the game's tying run. 1 out in the Giants' 5th. Andrew Susak got his first big league hit in the 3rd inning, drove in a run with it. 1 for 2 today. Everybody waiting for Charlie to throw it. Charlie works at a different pace than we saw Vance Worley work at Friday.
Yeah.
I mean on Monday. Vance would grab the ball and throw it. Charlie a little more deliberate with his work. Want to know the count.
When Morton's swinging or throwing the ball better, he is quicker. I mean, there's you almost see it in the face. He's just looking for a sign and goes and gets the ball and throws it. I know there was a time when he first come off the DL from the Tommy John surgery. He was firmer with that sinker, throwing it 93, 94 miles per hour, and that's all he'd throw. And it was like he didn't care what the hitter thought. He said, here, try to hit it if you can. And it was just extremely quick, efficient, lots of ground balls. Now, he doesn't have the same velocity, whether that's by choice or not, I'm not sure, but he does have the big curveball, which has been a great weapon for him. As a split change that he doesn't throw nearly as often. In fact, rarely does he throw it. In fact, had some issues with that split change in Colorado. It was cutting on him. It was kind of almost looking like a slider.
There's a bouncer slowly hit to the right side. Walker will have one play. Susak is out, 2 down. Blanco over to second base. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is celebrating 12 years. Join the millions of subscribers. Watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 devices. Visit Pirates.com for details. Pinch hitter up for the Giants. Pirates fans happy so far today. Finding each other. Tyler Colvin will be the hitter. He'll hit for Gutierrez, the pitcher. Strike 1 to Colvin. Gutierrez ends up going an inning and 2/3. 1 strikeout. All rest zeros. Second straight appearance for Gutierrez, where he's pitched hitless and scoreless relief of more than an inning. Ball gets away from Stewart, far enough for Blanco to move down to third base.
Good curveball once again. Colvin almost hits him in that left foot. Couldn't hold up on it.
Wild pitch for Morton. Oh, tying run 90 feet away. Morton ahead of Colvin. No balls and 2 strikes. One and 2.
No wonder he swings at the curveball, almost hits him in the foot, but then that one, a much better pitch, much closer to being in the strike zone, he takes. Usually that's just a case of guessing of the previous pitch.
Charlie trying to go inside again on a left-hander. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two pitch. Did he get him? Third base umpire Brian Knight said he didn't swing.
Looks like he kept it back.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Charlie stretch and the payoff pitch. Got him. Strike 3. And the tying run left at third base. Ahead of the 6th inning in San Francisco. 5-4 Pirates.
By Barrel Automotive, we're driven to be better. And by Levin Mattress, located in all Levin furniture showrooms and freestanding stores. Let's go Bucks!
Welcome back to San Francisco with John Wehner and Robbie Ince-Mikowski. I'm Tim Neverett. 5-4 Pirates in McCovey Cove. More Pirates fans out here in the West Coast. Former Pirate, briefly, Javier Lopez. He's now on to pitch. And instead of Ike Davis, it'll be Gabby Sanchez. Pirates getting the right-handed bat against the left-handed reliever. And Gabby pinch hitting in the top half of the 6th inning.
Lopez still getting guys out. Almost below hitting speed. Drops down, gets that fastball maybe to 86, 87.
3-0.
That one at 84.
Gabby batting .230. Facing the veteran left-hander, Javier Lopez. Rio is in for a strike. Lopez broke in with the Rockies in 2003 and decided to make a home there. Lives in Golden, Colorado. And with the Red Sox, Pirates, and here for a number of years now with the Giants as he walks the leadoff man, Gabby Sanchez. Man aboard for Travis Snider.
Travis, a limited amount of at-bats against the lefties. 1-run lead. Maybe we'll see a sacrifice here from Travis. Although 4 for 13, he's done okay against the southpaw.
Gene Machi in the bullpen. Right-hander ready to go. Travis tries to bunt. Missed it. Strike one. .308 against lefties. Limited at bats. He's 4 for 13 against left-handed pitchers. What's Lopez trying to do here, knowing that he's facing a lefty who's trying to bunt?
He should be throwing a strike and taking the out.
Nobody out. Sanchez at first following the leadoff walk. Snider bunts it right back to the pitcher. And safe at second base is Gabby Sanchez. Crawford dropped the baseball. A break for the Buccos.
Huge break for the Pirates. That could have easily been a double play. Travis Snider had a little tweak to the hamstring, and so I'm not sure if he was going to be able to get the first on time. You see there, Crawford would have had the ball when Snider is about halfway there. And Gabby does a good job after sliding in, getting that right toe on the bag. Yeah, that's he's trying to be too hasty, trying to be too quick. Brandon Crawford.
So it will not be a sacrifice for Travis Snider, as it turns out. That'll be a fielder's choice for him. And an error charged on Crawford. And that'll chase Lopez. Pitching change in San Francisco. Pirates up by a run. face a new pitcher, Gene Machi. Jordy, in the 4th inning, gave the Pirates their first lead of the ball game with a 2-run homer. Home run number 7 for Mercer. His first home run since the 21st of June at Chicago.
Big hit, and get to face the right-hander, Machi. 5-0, 162 ERA. Doesn't strike out a lot of guys, but tough to hit. And we'll see what happens here. We'll see if Clint Hurdle looks to sacrifice Mercer. And if he does, you wonder if he stays with Stewart, who's on deck, or does he go to Martin?
Good question. He will sacrifice Mercer. Mercer gets it down. Nice bunt by Jordy. He does the job, and now the Pirates with 1 out have 2 men in scoring position.
It's fortunate, actually, that he has a relatively inexperienced first baseman. Typically a first-second bunt situation. The first baseman's breaking, and he's about halfway to home plate. You bunt it to first, you're going to get at least the lead man, maybe 2. But you see Buster Posey kind of sat back. Not real aggressive coming in. So all he could do is tag Jordy, but the job is done.
Well, the infield will play in a bit. In on the corners and even with the bags in the middle. 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. Stewart swinging a miss. In the on-deck circle, Pedro Alvarez. Pedro would pinch hit for Charlie Morton.
Stewart's been swinging the bat well. Let's see if he can come through again.
1 ball, 1 strike. I talked to Chris about the adjustments and how tough it is when you're not playing every day. You're playing once or twice a week. And how to stay consistent at the plate. You just have to keep at it. And what he does is he works with the hitting coaches trying to replicate game situations on days when he's off. 2-1.
Yeah, he hasn't, at least, especially in the last couple of months, he's looked locked in. You'd never know. Typically, there's timing issues and hard to be consistent.
Two balls and a strike. 1 out. 2nd and 3rd. Machi ready. Here's the pitch. 3-1.
Machi takes a look over to see who's on deck. Saw Pedro over there. Stewart should get you would think, a good pitch to hit. I think you almost have to come at him with the fastball.
And takes ball 4, and the bases are full of Bucks. Second walk of the inning, first by Machi. And now, a rundown situation. What is going on? Are you kidding? You have got to be kidding.
Unbelievable.
An absolute gift for the Giants.
Bruce Bochy. Everything's been going wrong for him. Here's ball 4. Travis Snyder thinks there's a runner on first base, so he starts walking towards third. And they get a double play.
Horrible base running by the Pirates ends the inning. Snyder, huge base running mistake after Chris Stewart had just walked to load the bases with one out. And the inning ends on a double play. Snyder thought there was somebody behind him. He was being forced to third. And Gabby Sanchez, who's at third right now, decides he's going to break for the plate. And Machu got in the middle of that, and Sandoval tagged him out.
Probably about in the middle of that rundown. I wonder if Travis Snyder even realized, why are they chasing after me? Because he obviously thought somebody was at first base. So we've seen a lot of different things on this road trip. We saw a stolen base on one pitch.
Two stolen bases
on the one pitch by Jay Hay, and now a walk, ball 4, double play.
Hunter Pence takes strike 1.
And if they called it, they're not going to call that a caught stealing, are they?
That's what I'm told they're calling it. I think they're going to look at it again, but the initial call is caught stealing. 1-6 and 1-5.
Caught daydreaming?
1-6-2-5. Well, that's what it was. It's a mental error, big time mental error. Mental mistakes don't go in any column. Well, physical mistakes do.
You got the lead still. Who knows what would have happened after that? You certainly like your chances with the bases loaded, one out with Pedro coming up. But you got this bullpen against a struggling offense.
So the Pirates have to, as quickly as possible, just forget that ever happened and move on. 3-2 pitch. Pence, a bouncer to the right side. Neil Walker is there. 1 out. But you're just sacrificed over there, so you know there's nobody behind you. If you're Snyder.
Most would.
Rare to see an inning end with a walk. Brandon Crawford at the plate. He takes a strike from Hughes. Crawford today 1 for 2 with a walk. Singleton scored in the first inning. Another ground ball to Walker. Just how Jared likes it. 2 down.
The way Jared Hughes has been pitching, another potential factor. You wonder, we get to that pitching spot. Pedro obviously pinch hits. So you're through the 9th spot of the order. I mean, Hughes has been pitching great. You wonder if Clint Hurdle would want to use him for more than 1 inning. He's got quick 2 outs here. It'll be interesting to see if he ends up pinch hitting for Hughes or if he lets him bat now.
Strike call to Buster Posey. 1 for 3 today, hitting .283 on the season. Second game in a row, Posey playing first base. Here's the pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike. Three for 4 last night for Posey. It was his first multi-hit game at home since the 26th of June. A month. And it's 1-2. One ball and 2 strikes to Posey. 2 down. Here's the pitch.
Good job of laying off. He's not happy with the first couple of strikes. You see they were all borderline down and in. And then Hughes throws the breaking ball down and away and spits on it like he knew it was coming.
To left field. And Snyder makes the catch. 1, 2, 3 go the Giants in the 6th. We move to the 7th inning at AT Park. Pirates by a run. Cisco. Time to take a look at our AT fan photo. Hashtag Bucks fan photo to get your photos to us. Showing his pirate pride down there in the left corner with a pirate hat on. All the way from Rockland, Maine, the Maine Lobster Festival. Thanks to Jessica Stremp for sending that in. It's our AT fan photo of the day. They're taking some photos right there.
Pops from across the bay.
Michael Martinez will pinch hit for Jared Hughes. Gene Machi stays on the hill. Martinez, the switch hitter, runs up on it, slaps it foul. Moving toward the mound, showed bunt and kept his front foot moving. Justin Wilson starting to warm up.
See if we can crowd the bases again.
Nothing in 1 to Martinez. Now it's nothing in 2. .133 the average for Martinez. Two for 15 on the season. His brief time here. Twice he's been called up. The 0-2 coming. Almost got him. Backs out. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Josh Harrison waiting on deck. Jay Hay 1 for 3 today with a home run. Machi's 1-2 to Martinez. Inside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Our last inning looked like things were going to go pretty well for the Pirates. They just loaded the bases, and the base running gaff by Snyder turned into an inning ending double play. And now the Pirates have to start over here in the 7th. A bouncer to the right side. Martinez hustling down the line. The panic throw beats him. 1 out. AT Park, gorgeous day. Keep in mind, Milwaukee beat Tampa Bay earlier, 5-0. The Pirates need to win today to keep pace with the Brewers and stay a game out. The Brewers, meanwhile, will prepare for a big series coming up with the Cardinals. Cardinals still have a game to go tonight against San Diego. In San Diego. So the Brewers and Cardinals going head to head. Something's going to give this weekend, I think.
We'll win. We'll gain ground on somebody.
Strike to Harrison.
If we lose, we'll only lose ground to one of them.
No balls and 1 strike to Jay Hay. 1 out, bases empty. Machi's pitch. Ball 1, 1-1.
Jay Hay worked his way up to 4th on the team in RBIs.
I didn't have that in spring training, did you?
Pretty amazing.
Didn't have him going to the All-Star game either.
Nope.
Ground ball toward the middle. Gloving it is Crawford. 2 out. Harrison 1 for 4. Well, Machi will face Gregory Polanco now. For 3 for Gregory. Had a base hit in the first inning. A blooper that dropped in between 3 fielders out in left center field. Flied out twice since. Strike 1 to Polanco.
Still trying to get out of that funk. We were so hot and so locked in, and everything looked so easy and effortless his first few weeks in the big leagues. Trying to find that consistent approach again, consistent timing.
He has hit safely in 4 of his last 5 games. Takes the ball outside. Polanco hit a home run Sunday in Colorado. Just barely climbed the right field wall. Travis Snyder in the dugout. And the pitch. Breaking ball hit well to left field. It's pretty deep. Morse going back. Morse at the track will make the catch. And the Pirates are done in the 7th. It is stretch time in San Francisco. 5-4 Pirates.
and maybe some tunes going on, and the San Francisco Giants have a third base coach that is heavily into music. That is Tim Flannery, and he knows music, and he's kind of a professional at it. He gave $96,000 to the family of Brian Stowe, who was a Giants fan, who was still recovering from traumatic injuries and brain damage after being beaten on opening day back in 2011. The money was raised from Tim Flannery's band. It's called the Lunatic Fringe. They played a series of 4 sold-out shows here in Northern California. They got some help. Jeremy Affeldt donated $25,000, and former Giant Will Clark gave $10,000. But Flannery, this is not just a hobby for him with the music, and he wasn't a guy who had a huge payday as a big league ball player, Tim and John. So what he did was he played the shows, sold the tickets, and took the proceeds and donated them to the family of Brian Stowe, who is still recovering from those injuries, and we wish the Stowe family, Brian Stowe and his family, all the best. But good stuff from Tim Flannery.
Yeah, he's a long-time associate of Bruce Bochy. He's been with Bochy for a long time. He's with him in San Diego. There's a coach there.
No surprise. Good man. Pretty impressive stuff.
Flannery spent a season in the booth, in the radio booth in San Diego, and then when Bochy got the job here, he got back in uniform. He's been the third base coach here ever since. Nothing in 2 to Sandoval. Wilson's pitch. A ground ball to the right side. Gabby's got it. He'll step on the bag and take care of Sandoval. One out in the Giants' 7th. Soft roller.
Always like to get that first guy.
Wilson has retired 33 of 46 first batters he's faced. Wilson allowed a hit and struck out a batter while pitching a scoreless 6th inning Sunday in Denver. Michael Morse 2 for 3 today. Strike 1.
Certainly has the power to tie things up with one swing. I'm not sure he gets the bat speed or has the bat speed to catch up to a good Justin Wilson fastball.
0-1 pitch. That's inside, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. The Pirates will jump on a plane here in San Francisco right after this game, head straight to Phoenix, begin a 4-game set with the Diamondbacks starting tomorrow night. On 1 pitch. That's outside. 2-1. Pirates sojourn through the National League West continues. Done pretty well against the West. 8-3 in a stretch of 15 straight games. Well, Morse lost his helmet. Didn't make contact. 2-2.
Trying to swing harder to catch up. Harder normally doesn't catch up the velocity. Quicker does. And that ball's pretty much by him.
One out, base is empty. Jeff Locke will go tomorrow night against Arizona. 2-2. Inside full count. 98 miles an hour from Justin Wilson.
And 3-2. Morse knows what he's going to get here. And we'll see where Chris Stewart sets up. Instead of setting up in, does he set up more on the plate and just have Justin Wilson rear back and challenge the big right-handed hitter.
Panik on deck. Payoff pitch. Up high, ball 4, and Wilson's walked it. Tying runs aboard in the 7th.
And Stewart still looked like he was on the inside part. I almost just want to go right down the middle on him.
Here's a look at the road ahead for the Pirates, brought to you by Nissan. After the game, Pirates go to Arizona. Again, as Jeff Locke will face Josh Colmentor tomorrow night. Friday, Edinson Volquez against Vidal Nuno. Came over from the Yankees earlier this month. Saturday, Vance Worley will have his encore performance. He'll go against Chase Anderson. The trip wraps up Sunday. Liriano against Cahill. Joe Panik at the plate. Pitch in the dirt, blocked by Stewart. Panik walked with the bases loaded in the first. Didn't play last night. Called up from Fresno on June 21st. In the big leagues, just a little more than a month. One ball and one strike now they count. Some of the fans are grumbling about that call by Fielding Culbreth.
Yeah, it's pretty much the way. See, it's the bottom of the zone, right at the knees. Maybe the way Stewart caught it, kind of had to reach back for it a bit.
Talking about the Diamondbacks, they beat Cincinnati already today, 5-4 in Cincinnati. The Reds now under 500, 53-54 for Cincinnati. Ground ball wide at third base. Strike two to Panik. The Reds have dropped back to 6 out. And the Giants are 3 out in the West, 3 behind the Dodgers. That's the largest lead the Dodgers have had all season. Until early June, the Giants had the best record in baseball. Then their friends from across the bay, the Oakland A's, took that honor over and still have it. April and May were good months for San Francisco, but most of June and July have not been, as the standings have been flipped in the West.
You got to win at home, and they have struggled to win at home.
2-2 to Panik. In the air to short center field. That's going to drop in for a hit. And Moore stops at second base. And now the Giants have the tying run at second, the go-ahead run at first.
Yeah, maybe a little surprised that Panik got to face the hard-throwing lefty Wilson, but maybe goes to show you the lack of confidence that Bruce Bochy has in their newly acquired second baseman Dan Uggla. Then Panik comes through for him. A little fister. And Wilson throws a lot of fastballs. Panik knew what he was getting and got enough of one.
Well, Perez will pinch run for Morse now that he's in scoring position. Juan Perez out there, Morse out of the ballgame.
I was wondering why that move wasn't made when Morse was on first. If Perez was on first, he may be on third now with that little flare into center.
That was a ball that a runner could have gone first to third on. I agree with you there. And Gregor Blanco up. Singled through the hole on the left side his last time up in the 5th inning. He is 2 for 2, hit by a pitch. Mark Gomez going back out to the bullpen. He was up earlier. And a base hit to right field. Perez around third. He'll score. This game is tied.
That big 1-out walk really comes back to haunt Justin Wilson and the Pirates. They had 2 strikes to get Morse out, and all he needed to throw the fastball over. I don't think he gets to it, and so after the walk, the blue base hit the center, the jam shot through the big hole on the right side. And nothing hit hard, but for me, the walk proves costly.
The go-ahead run is at third base. And the catcher, Andrew Susak, at the plate, 1 for 3 with an RBI. Since moving to San Francisco from New York in 1958, the Giants have never been swept in a 6-game homestand. 6 games or more. Dodgers beat him 3 straight. Pirates have beaten him 2 straight. The Giants making an effort to come back here late in the ballgame. Charlie Morton now, no decision. Game will belong to the bullpens. 97 miles an hour with the fastball. Wilson giving up the run here. He had been scored upon just once in 5 appearances since the All-Star break before that run scored. Pitch to Susak. Up and in.
Good. The slider left it up. He kind of overthrew it a little bit. Came across at 92. Ray Searage would like a ground ball firmly hit right at one of his infielders, or perhaps a strikeout.
Here's Blanco. Gomez is ready in the bullpen. Euclides Rojas, the bullpen coach, just tipped his cap down there. He's tipping his cap to indicate to the dugout that he's ready. We don't have phones here. We communicate the old-fashioned way. And a strike call, 1-2.
Fans again moaning and groaning. Top of the zone. Maybe a little help.
Here's Bochy's team with 5 runs right now. It's 1 fewer than they have scored in the last 6 games combined.
He's starving for a win. This team struggling.
Susak. Oh, ball gets away. Stewart throws it to the plate. It's wide. Oh, they had him nailed with a good throw. And now the Giants have the lead 6-5. A good throw gets panicked.
The Pirates can't come back and win this game, Bob. It's just one game, but it's been an ugly one. There's just a miscue after miscue in this ball game. Mental mistakes, poor pitching, huge base running mistake.
Pass ball charged to Stewart. And now the Giants have retaken the lead. 1 out man at second, and Susak strikes out. So 2 gone. Tough one to take right there. Yeah, you're right though, Ron. Too many miscues today. There had been a series of games where the Pirates, especially in the first 2 of this series, where everything seemed to go right for them. Joaquin Arias, pinch hitter, rolls it to Walker. Now the Pirates have some work to do with the bats. Giants take the lead back, and after 7, it's 6-5.
We're here with the All-Star, Josh Harrison.
Along with Andrew McCutchen and Tony Watson as we take you behind the scenes of the Buccos All-Star Experience. See how Jay Hay spent his free time. Check out Pirates red carpet arrival. See the guys mic'd up in batting practice and much more. It's Inside Pirates Baseball Twin City Trio. Tomorrow after postgame on Root Sports. Well, if you're bad, that's where you used to go. Alcatraz Island. Sergio Romo on to pitch.
The importance of this game for Bruce Bochy, bringing in Romo here, and Romo not having the best of years, a 4.3, 4.95 ERA. Opponents hitting just 205 against him.
Andrew McCutchen 0 for 3. Breaking ball low, ball 1.
And you'll see a lot of those. One of the better sliders in baseball from the right side from Romo. Doesn't throw very hard as Juan Perez stays in. He's in left.
Another slider. That's in for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike to McCutchen. It's been a seesaw affair at some points today. Back and forth. It's gone. 2 balls and a strike. Giants had 3 runs on the board in the top of the bottom of the first round. Pretty close, but called ball 2. Pirates got 1 back in the second, 2 back in the third. Ooh. 2-2. Took a 5-4 lead in the 4th inning on a Jordy Mercer 2-run home run, and then 2 runs in the 7th off of Justin Wilson. Go-ahead run scoring on a pass ball.
Let's see if Andrew McCutchen can get on base. A little lineup due up here. Every time the Giants have scored, the Pirates have answered with at least 1.
The payoff pitch to McCutchen from Romo. Called strike 3. Second time McCutchen has struck out in the game. He's 0 for 4.
No surprise, a 3-2 slider. He missed with the location, kept it inside, but it stayed on that corner.
Now Romo will throw to Walker. Outside. Starts the lefty with something else.
Changeup.
Change. He threw all sliders to McCutchen, didn't he?
Well, 1 fastball, 1-1 pitch. It just missed off.
One ball and 1 strike. Pirates need a big swing here late in the ball game. Nobody on, 1 out. Walker at the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike count. To left field. Perez behind it. 2 men out. Janmar Gomez warming up for the 3rd time. Gabby Sanchez walked as a pinch hitter in the 6th inning. And he takes a slider.
Let's see if he can hang on. He has given up his share of home runs this year, Romo. He's given up 8. 40 innings of work.
Steady diet of sliders to the right-handed hitters. 0-1 coming. Nothing in 2.
Not going to give you a whole lot to pull. If he does, it's going to be a mistake. He's going to try to flip that breaking ball up there. Keep everything away.
0-2 pitch to Gabby. Trying to get him to chase another, but that one's too far out of the zone. 1-2. Look at those hats, huh? Interesting. They must be heavy. One-two to Sanchez. Now it's 2-2. Sergio Romo has allowed multiple runs in 5 of his last 14 games. His ERA has gone from 3 to 4.95. Was the closer up until June 29th. Right now he's ahead of the Pirates with 2 outs and a 2-2 count on Sanchez. Now it's 3-2.
And I'm thinking that fastball was just a show me pitch. It's almost a guarantee right here. He's going to go with that slider again. 3-2.
The payoff pitch from Sergio Romo. Ball 4 and the tying run aboard. Sanchez has been to the plate twice and he's walked twice.
Yeah, that's a tough one to lay off. He sees the spin, the breaking ball, but just down, just off the outside edge. It's a good eye.
Rules change from the craziness of the 6th inning. Charge holding Travis Snyder with a caught stealing. Sanchez is out trying to advance.
Snyder with a base hit in the 4th inning. He could do the Pirates a favor now by making up for that base running gaffe. They've adjusted the official scoring on that, just giving a caught stealing to Snyder and not to Sanchez. Sanchez out trying to advance, but that's something the Pirates will try to forget quickly. 1-0 pitch to Snyder. Two balls and no strikes. Jeremy Affeldt, the left-hander. Santiago Casilla, the right-hander. Two outs, Sanchez at first. The 2-0 pitch to Travis Snyder. This one's hit well. Going after it, Blanco. He'll catch up to it. Pirates will leave a man. Head to the bottom of the 8th in San Francisco. Romo from the Allegheny Health Network. 6-5 Giants, bottom of the 8th inning. Final game of this 3-game series. Pirates have won the series. Trying for a 3-game sweep, still within reach. Hunter Pence takes the first pitch from Janmar Gomez for a strike. 0-1 to Pence coming. He is 1 for 4 today. One and one. Pence has cooled off at the plate in recent days, even though he's had a hit here and there. And gets this one out to McCutchen for the first out of the Giant 8th. Bring up Brandon Crawford, the shortstop. Crawford today 1 for 3 with a walk.
Important to keep this a 1-run ball game. Their closer, Casilla, has been very impressive, to say the least.
Crawford with 4 hits in his last 23 at bats. 1 ball, 1 strike to Crawford. He was hitless in his last 2 games before getting a first inning single. 1-1 pitch, and that is outside, 2-1. Washington beat Miami today 4-3. Mets over Philadelphia 11-2. Arizona beat Cincinnati 5-4. Lots of daytime action today. Strike is called, 2-2. Houston beat Oakland 8-1. And the Brewers shut out Tampa Bay 5-0. Well, this sellout crowd has been letting home plate umpire Field and Culbreth know what they think. And Crawford takes low, 3-2. I mean, it really hasn't been a bad strike zone all in all. It's been pretty consistent all day, hasn't it?
They've been consistently booing every strike call against the Giants this series. I think it's more the fan than the umpire.
Payoff pitch. Fouled off.
They don't like it when they get called strikes against their guys. Just being good fans. If you're from San Francisco, I suppose. Miners if you're from outside the Bay Area.
305th consecutive sellout. 42,272 on hand today. Crawford looks at a pitch just off the plate outside, ball 4. The Giants have a man aboard in the bottom of the 8th. Make sure to stay tuned after the final out of this ball game today as we take you on the field and inside the clubhouse for game reaction from the team. Clint Hurdle and our Root Sports analysts. Pirates post game presented by Allegheny Health Network coming up after the game on Root Sports. Dan Potash and Ken Maka back at the studio today. Buster Posey takes a strike. Posey 1 for 4. He's got 4 hits in the series. Throw to first by Gomez, and Crawford gets back. Posey at the plate, ready for the pitch. And that is in for a strike call. 0-2 the count to Buster Posey.
Here.
Yeah, they're grumbling.
Grumbling.
Just got the bottom of the strike zone. No balls, 2 strikes. That one up. Posey took it for a ball.
He sees a lot of pitches. He's so patient. You can't get him to chase. Can't get him to pull off. Just a solid, consistent approach.
One-two, ground ball toward the middle. Walker gets a glove on it, and everybody's safe. Base hit for Posey. Crawford safe at second base. Walker did all he could just to knock it down. Still ended up trying to make a play at first. Well, they'll call that an error on Walker. Beg your pardon.
It's good effort by Neil Walker. He has been so steady at second base, making every play and making every play look easy. A little fumble of that backhand. Still made a pretty good effort.
Pablo Sandoval now facing Janmar Gomez. Ball one.
Just Neil's third error on the year. Wouldn't be surprised to see that overturned or changed, especially if they don't score in this inning.
Popped up foul and out of play down the left side. Harrison will run to the railing. I think it's just a matter of how you define ordinary effort to get to the ball. Giants up by a run, bottom of the 8th inning. 2 on, 1 out. Sandoval the hitter. He has scored 2 of the Giants' 6 runs today. Giants have scored as many runs today as they did in their 6 previous games combined. That was the lowest scoring output over a 6-game stretch for the Giants since 1992. Ernesto Friere is up in the pen now for Pittsburgh. Two balls, 2 strikes. Janmar Gomez getting some work late in this ball game. More often than not, you'll see him in the middle of a game. Pitched an inning and a third on Saturday against Colorado, gave up 2 runs. And at PNC Park on the 21st of July, also pitched an inning and a third of relief, but that was scoreless baseball.
Let's see if he can induce another ground ball. Clean this up. Take your chances, 1 down against Casilla in the 9th.
Two. That's going to drop in for a hit. Crawford around third. And the Giants have added on. It's 7-5. RBI base hit for Pablo Sandoval.
He's such a good hitter and a bad ball hitter. That pitch may have ended up in the dirt. He's able to, the foot gets down, the hands stay back. Gets out over that front leg. Hasn't hit it all that hard. That's kind of been a theme for the Giants today. They haven't hit the ball very hard. He's pretty excited about it. He knows they need a big win, as they have been struggling.
Janmar Gomez is done. Ernesto Frieri coming on when we come back.
Telecast is presented by the authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Neil Walker committing an error this inning. And a run now has scored after the walk to Crawford. Janmar Gomez is out. And Ernesto Frieri in to pitch to Juan Perez. First plate appearance for Perez. Came in to pinch run for Morse. That was in the 7th inning after Morse had a 1-out walk. 12th game for Frieri with the Pirates. Former Angel. 2 balls and no strikes. Pablo Sandoval getting some insurance across. Went down and golfed a single. Pitch that was down by his shoe tops. (2-0) pitch to Perez. That's inside. 3-0. Three balls, no strikes, and Santiago Casilla waiting in the bullpen. He would come on to try to close it out. He'll face Jordy Mercer, and then we'll see what Clint Hurdle does with the rest of the batting order in the 9th inning. Still has Pedro Alvarez available. Still has Russell Martin if he wants to use him. 3-0. Now it's 3-1.
I'll be surprised if Stewart even moves from that. He set up right down the middle, 3-0. Call for another fastball and set up right down the middle again.
Let's pop back and out of play. Fills up the count at 3-2. Brent Morel still available. Pedro Alvarez still available. Suspicion we'll see Pedro somewhere batting in the 9th.
Yeah, Pedro almost certainly will hit in the pitcher's spot. The only question is Mercer will lead off. The only question is whether or not Clint Hurdle wants to use Russell Martin to hit for Stewart. Martin's only had a couple of pinch hit appearances this year. But you'd like to get Pedro up there representing the tying run. And to do that, I think you've got to shut this inning down. Keep it a 2-run game.
Russ will be back behind the plate tomorrow night in Arizona. Who knows? He may have an impact in this one late. We'll see.
Seeing him in a jacket and shades leads me to believe that Stewart will hit for himself in the ninth.
Payoff pitch from Frieri. Popped up. Shallow right field. Walker is out. Polanco is in. Walker makes the catch. So there are 2 out.
Tough time of the day to be chasing down fly balls here in San Francisco. Beautiful bright blue sky, sun, wind. Those ones you don't panic as much because you're not far out into the outfield. They didn't call for the infield fly, but if you were to mishandle it, drop it, you'd still get a force out somewhere.
Second baseman Joe Panic takes ball 1. That ball kept drifting out. I was waiting for Chris Siegel, the first base umpire, to indicate infield fly, but it kept on drifting out. Walker hung with it. 2 on and 2 out for the Giants in the 1-0 pitch. Foul straight back, and it's 1-1. Pirates have home runs today from Josh Harrison and Jordy Mercer. Harrison homering in his 4th straight ball game. Mercer gave the Pirates the lead 5-4 in the 4th inning, but the Giants with 2 in the 7th off Justin Wilson took a 6-5 lead, and then 1 more off Genmar Gomez this inning. It's now 7-5. Ready for the 1-2 is Panic. Here it is. Just inside, it's 2-2. Frieri made 6 straight scoreless appearances before being charged with 4 runs in an inning of work Friday in Colorado. 27th of June is when the Pirates made the trade with the Angels for Jason Grilli. Grilli going there, Frieri coming here. 2-2, poked, foul, and out of play.
Frieri, he's in the strike zone. Clint Hurdle, I'm sure, would like to see him regain his form. Former closer, trying to figure things out.
2-ball, 2-strike pitch from Frieri to Panic. Panic will get another one. Frieri got his first win as a Pirate on the 1st of July against the Diamondbacks. Wouldn't that be a nice way to spend a day? San Francisco Bay.
I think that would be a lot of fun.
2-2. Panic strikes out. So an unearned run given up. Last wraps for the Pirates, down 2. Going to the top of the ninth inning, 7-5. Giants leading the Pirates. And the number right now, $13 off the lower outfield and outfield box tickets. August 5th through the 7th against the Marlins at PNC Park. Pirates have scored 13 runs so far. If they score any more this inning, they'll take another $1 or $2, whatever they end up scoring this inning. And don't forget, with the no fees promotion going on through Friday, you'll save even more on those outfield box and lower outfield box seats for the Marlins series. So make sure you take advantage of that as well. Santiago Casilla trying to close this one out.
Great numbers. Hardest throwing reliever out of the Giants bullpen. 1.16 ERA. Opponents just 1.72 batting average.
Mercer belts one to center field, and waiting for it is Blanco. There's one out. The Giants now 2 outs away from ending a 6-game losing skid. Casilla will face Chris Stewart. Pitch to Stewart in for a strike. Casilla, 33 years of age, out of the Dominican Republic. Oh, 0-1. That's inside to Stewart. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Looking for his 8th save. You can see the velocity, 94, the good movement. Watch the run. That was chasing Chris Stewart. Doesn't strike out a lot of guys. Doesn't walk too many.
And the 1-1. Stewart takes a strike, 1-2. Casilla is a cousin to Pirates starting pitcher Francisco Liriano. And Pedro Alvarez in the on deck circle.
Bloop and a blast.
1-2. And that one is into the gap. That's down. And the Pirates have a man aboard. Chris Stewart, a base hit with 1 out in the 9th. And now the tying run coming to the plate.
Once again, Chris Stewart doing the job, turning around the 94 on base for the 3rd time this afternoon. He continues to be productive, and the Pirates, pretty good chance right here with Pedro at the plate.
Alvarez, 238, 15 homers, 47 runs batted in. Alvarez swings and misses.
Got the fastball, big cut, but that fastball just ran away from Pedro.
Pedro has not started the last 2 games against right-handed pitchers due to the fact that Harrison and Snyder have been swinging hotter bats. The Pirates trying to get the hotter hitters in the lineup. Tony Watson going down to the bullpen just in case. One ball, 1 strike. It's be a great park for Pedro to run into one. Get a ball all wet. Give Clint Hurdle a birthday present. Clint 57 today. Down and in, 2-1.
I like to see it though. Casilla coming at Pedro with fastballs. I think Pedro would rather be up there facing velocity as opposed to off-speed stuff.
One out, 1 on. Top of the 9th, 2-1. In the air to left field. Juan Perez will make the catch. Pedro's out. And the Pirates down to their final out today. Last hope for the Buccos is Josh Harrison. In the third inning, Josh knocked this one deep to the alley and out. Fourth home run in as many days for Harrison. His 9th of the year. 2-run shot. That tied the game at 3. That's the only hit Josh has today. 1 for 4. Stewart breaks for second base, and they'll just let him have it. No stolen base. Fielder's indifference. Nothing in 1 to Josh Harrison. Facing Santiago Casilla, top of the 9th inning. Pirates still with a pulse. And now Casilla wants to talk to the catcher Susak.
They may not have gone over their signs with the runner at second base.
At the conclusion of this one, Dan Potash, Kent Maka will break this one down for you. So stand by. Pirates postgame coming up when this one ends. 0-1. Now it's 0-2, and the Bucs down to the last strike. 42,000 plus on their feet at AT Park. No balls, 2 strikes to Josh Harrison. Casilla's pitch. Up and in, 1-2.
Tried to go away from the fastball with the breaking ball, and if he left that pitch a little more towards the middle of the plate, as hot as J-Hay has been, if you're going to throw that breaking ball, you better not leave it up middle unless you want to blow a save. Especially this guy.
The Giants salvage a game on their homestand. They salvage a game in the series. Pirates win the series 2-1. A 7-5 final score in favor of San Francisco as they avoid losing every game on a 6-game homestand for the first time since they moved to San Francisco.
Well, Pirates didn't deserve this one. Pretty much beat themselves. It was not a very good game for the Pirates. The Giants are grateful, though. They're reeling, and they've got a bunch of breaks today. Pirates had a chance to close it out. Wasn't meant to be.
So the final score from here, 7-5. The Pirates are now 57-50. They'll head to Arizona, but before they do, we'll send you back to Pittsburgh, where Dan Potash and Ken Maka are standing by.